The Pokemon TCG World Championships just wrapped up this weekend in Anaheim with Gardevoir EX as the winning deck for the Masters Division. And unfortunately, we GLC players did not get to see a big main GLC event in the past, like at other championships with the big Switch Series tournaments. But there were 4 round side events firing on all 3 days at Worlds, and while it's sadly not possible to easily see all the decks that everyone played in these side events, we have slowly started to see some data trickle in from folks in Discords and on social media about the decks that they used and which decks went 4-0 in a side event. So, to make up for the lack of a big tournament result from the weekend for GLC, I'm going to do a quick video here where I take a look at some of the 4-0 deck lists from the GLC side events at Worlds that we are seeing. So first off, we have GG Blatant, who went 4-0 with a Drago Box list. They didn't post the exact deck list, but they said it was basically Spence's list with no special tech like Faba or Red's Challenge or anything like that. So this is kind of the standard Drago Box list. It's all basic Pokemon, big basics, and it uses the Reshiram to power up fire energy to the bench as a pivot, and it's got a lot of items and consistency. It's a very aggressive deck. It can take very specific knockouts on the opponent's bench with Raging Bolt, just kind of like we saw at the World Championships in the Juniors division. And it's very aggressive and it's very assertive. So if you like a deck that likes to take the pace of the game and take control early, Drago Box is a great choice. Congratulations to Blatant, excellent deck choice. I have actually converted my dragon deck now to Drago Box. Just feels like it's the best dragon build out there right now. So great to see that for Blatant. And next up, we've got a deck that I'm really excited to talk about. This is a fire deck run by Purple, aka Nick, as I saw I posted on Twitter, on X, also posted in the Discord. And this deck went 4-0, and it's got Charizard and Emboar. So the new Emboar from the black and white set. Of course, it's just the same ability as the old black and white Emboar, basically a rain dance on a fire Pokemon. But we see the return of Burn Brightly Charizard in this list, a card that a lot of fire players seem to have completely eschewed and moved away from in their fire deck building. In fact, had been working on a video for explaining why Charizard seems to not be seeing play in fire anymore when it was previously fire's darling for GLC fire decks. But we see it here as a return to form. 4-0 also has the Rapidash that draws a card to go with the Mag Cargo. And then we see Entei, Gouging Fire, and Chi-Yu as the 3 basic attackers of choice, as well as a Cast Form as a pivot and also an emergency attacker to do that 150. We've got Raihan, Mela, Blacksmith, and Welder all here, all the fire support. We've seen some players moving away from Welder and Fire, but we see it here working beautifully in this deck. Takes great advantage of cards like Giant Hearth and Fire Crystal to refill the hand with fire energy for that Emboar, and then get it double those energy with Charizard. It actually kind of feels like this deck probably works a lot like Brillisaur Grass, where you've got so many ways that fire can refill its hand with energy. Then you put all those energy into play with the Emboar, and then Charizard's doubling them, so you've got big attacks going off. And he's also running the Goose Hala engine, I want to mention. He said in his post that that worked really well for him. The Goose Hala engine has, of course, the Capture Energy, the Artisan, and the TM Evolution. So that's a great way to just right away get your Rapidash and your Mag Cargo set up right away, and then you can just start pulling out the pieces you need out of the deck going from there. Yeah, this deck looks awesome. I would be really interested in actually probably building this deck. I've been looking for a fire deck. This looks really cool. So 4-0, congrats to Purple on the 4-0 with this awesome fire deck. And then we have Eggu Deek, or Egg of Noble Arms, who posted their 4-0 Psychic list over on Blue Sky. And they were playing a list with, looks like, Tina, Iron Boulder, and we've got the Zatu and the Malamar, and the Monkey Dory to go with the Giratina to throw the damage counters, and then the Gengar with the Netherworld Gate ability to get some more damage counters on the board to throw with the Monkey Dory. So really cool Monkey Dory list here from Eggu. I want to call out that he had a lost vacuum in addition to a field blower. So I would be wondering what was the thought process there. You don't see lost vacuum a lot, but I expect it's going to be start seeing a little more play here, just to deal with stadiums and tools, especially with some strong stadiums coming out. But playing both of these cards in the deck. Also rocking the spell tag here, a card you usually see in Psychic Spread, but I imagine the idea there was to just put as much damage counters on the board as you can, and then that lets you really leverage the Monkey Dory damage ability so you can get multiple knockouts in a single turn. I do want to call out, interestingly, that also playing Tulip instead of Clara, which is a choice that I've heard people talking about for their Monkey Dory decks. Since Tulip cannot get the basic Darkness Energy back into play, the only way that he has in this deck to get those basic Darkness Energies back is either Night Stretcher or Raihan. So, but does have the double Darkness Energy, so I'm imagining it wasn't too much of a problem there. So congratulations to Eggu Duke, Eggu Deek on Blue Sky for their 4-0 with their Psychic deck. And then the last one I want to be talking about here is a Japanese player who posted their results over on X on Twitter. It looks like they did go 4-0 based on what I can read here. Now it looks like it technically went 3-0, won their round one against a no-show opponent, but then it says they played against Dragon, Colorless, and Psychic with a Psychic deck. So this is Akihiro Orata's Psychic deck. And really interesting build. We see the Giratina again, the Zatu and the Malamar as well, but no Monkey Dory, no Gengar this time. We still see the Wobbuffet, but they've got Latios and Blacephalon, and then Smoochum to power up their bench Pokemon, as well as we've got the Glade, of course, and then we've got the Bench Barrier Mew. So there you can see the Battle VIP pass thrown on there. I'm actually not sure if this is part of their 60. I would assume that it is, and no, but usually you see the Mysterious Tail Mew to try and grab that, and then the Bench Barrier, Mr. Mime. But just probably just rocking it raw, English copy with all their Japanese cards. So, yeah, and you see Hilda once again is being played here. No, Hilda was actually in several of these decks, also in the Fire deck. So I think Hilda is starting to make her presence known as a top supporter in some of these decks, being able to grab a evolution and an energy card as a supporter. I think Search is just really good in GLC. When you've got all these singleton cards you're trying to find, I always gravitate towards Search cards over just straight draw, although of course you need draw to refill your hand and have more options than just a couple. But we see Gugu's Mahala being played here as well, so congratulations to Akihiro Urata with their interesting Psychic deck. It looks a lot different than a lot of the Psychic decks we're seeing in the meta, at least in the West here. The Smoochum, definitely the big one, and as well as the Latios, being a lot different than what we are used to seeing. So that's all the decks that I saw. I got posted as a 4-0. Hopefully we get to see some more. If you played in a World Side event this weekend, let me know in the comments. I want to hear about it. Let me know how you did, what you played, what you saw. It looked like people had a great time, even though there wasn't like a big main tournament. Wish I could have been there, but things are super busy, so that's why I'm just making these quick, short videos for now, and hopefully we can get back to some more GLC content in the future. Thanks everybody for watching. We will catch you next time.